So you weren't able to have any ownership until now?
Until, yes. We signed contracts that were supposed to be protected by the courts, right? Like they were supposed to set trust fund money aside. Do you think we received any trust fund money? You know, at the end of the day, nada, right? So this is the court system.
At 57, Ronnie DeVoe just finally confirmed the rumors about New Edition that have been circulating. So what could it be? Well, it appears the members of New Edition aren't just a talented group, they're also individuals who can't seem to stay out of scandals.
Nobody got hit, but all I heard, gun, and all you had to tell me was gun. It was gone.
This, of course, spilled into the group, creating internal conflicts where no place was off limits for arguments, leading to tours being canceled. So, what was really going on with New Edition? Let's find out. Back in the 1980s, New Edition was one of the biggest R&B groups in the world.
The New Edition story, right? Generations of people that weren't attached to us initially, right now are waiting to come see us.
They had hit songs, sold out concerts, and millions of fans. But behind all that success, there were many problems. The group was first formed by Bobby Brown, Ricky Bell, and Michael Bivins. These three had been singing together since 1978 in Boston. Later, they added Ralph Tresvant and Ronnie DeVoe to the group.
Hey, listen, we were 12 when we put New Edition together, right?
It wasn't about making it
right.
They worked hard, performed in local talent shows, and hoped someone would discover them. That someone was a music writer and producer named Maurice Starr. He believed in them and helped them release their first big hit, Candy Girl, in 1983. That song made them famous, and people started calling them the new Jackson 5. As they became more popular, New Edition left Maurice Starr and signed with a big record label called MCA. In 1984, they released a self-titled album, New Edition. It had popular songs like Cool It Now and Mr. Telephone Man. That album sold over 2 million copies, which was a huge deal at the time. They were on top of the world. Their next album, All for Love, didn't sell as much, but it still went platinum. Even though they were successful, not everything was perfect. Bobby started to feel unhappy. He didn't like the direction the group was going, and he wanted to do something different. Bobby felt the group was too clean and safe. He wanted to be more grown up and edgy. He started to act out. He added dance moves on stage, which didn't match the group's wholesome image. New Edition was supposed to be for teenagers and families, but Bobby started performing like a grown man. He also began missing shows and was seen smoking marijuana. During one show in 1985, he got so angry that he threw a microphone at his bandmate, Michael Bivins. The group became frustrated. They even began to cut Bobby's solo parts shorter because he was causing too much trouble. Bobby later said, "I was tired of the teeny bop thing. I wanted to grow as a performer and as a man."
Thank God that I got kicked out of the group at that time.
They kicked you out?
They kicked me out of the group. I was voted out of the group.
In interviews, Bobby said he felt held back by the group. He said they didn't let him be himself on stage. He said, "I felt restricted. I felt they didn't want me to do anything." Bobby said anything he did made the others angry. He was growing up faster than the rest, and it was hard for everyone. New Edition member Ralph Tresvant also spoke out. He said Bobby didn't care about important performances. Bobby missed big shows like Solid Gold and Soul Train. These shows were very important for the group's image, and missing them made things worse. Ralph said Bobby just started doing his own thing and stopped caring about what the group needed.
Wow. Why'd they kick you out?
I was just doing the wrong.
So you had a little something to do with that, huh?
I had a lot to do with it.
Eventually, the group had enough. In 1986, Bobby was kicked out of New Edition. It wasn't just one thing, it was everything. His behavior, his attitude, and his desire to be different caused too many problems. But Bobby didn't give up. He started a solo career and became very successful. He released hits like My Prerogative and Don't Be Cruel. Even though he left the group, he stayed in the spotlight. Years later, Bobby did return to New Edition. In 2014, the group reunited for a big tour. All the members came back, including Bobby. But during the tour, Bobby had health problems and had to leave. He said, "I apologize to the fans. I really wanted to be with my brothers, but I just couldn't do it." He later came back again for the 2022 Culture Tour. Bobby said he was thankful to still be performing and doing what he loves. His bandmate Johnny Gill said he could see how much Bobby had grown and changed over the years. Today, he is still a big part of the group's story. Johnny Gill talks about Bobby Brown and Ronnie DeVoe. Fighting on stage and gunshots going off. In 1996, New Edition came back together. It had been 8 years since they all recorded an album together. This new album was called Home Again.
I'm happy to be home again.
What made it special was that all 6 members were back, including Bobby Brown. Bobby had left the group years earlier, but now he returned. This was not an accident. It was planned. The group wanted to bring back that old magic with all the original voices. Johnny Gill had joined the group after Bobby left, but now both of them were in the group at the same time. Johnny Gill shared something personal. He said that when he first joined New Edition, Bobby Brown wasn't happy. Bobby told Johnny years later that he was jealous when he first saw him perform. Bobby said, "Man, I hated it when you joined. I saw you sing and I was like, damn."
Bobby told me we had talked, and he was saying, "Man, I remember when you first joined the group, I freaking hated it. I was so jealous."
Even though Bobby felt that way at first, the two of them became close. Bobby would come with Johnny on tour, and he even stayed at Johnny's house in Los Angeles sometimes. People on the outside would try to start drama between them, saying they didn't like each other. But in real life, Johnny said Bobby was like his little brother. Bobby was competitive, always wanting to be the star, but Johnny never felt hate from him.
Bob would come out on the road with me to hang out. Bob would come to LA and would stay at my house.
The Home Again album turned out to be a big success. It came in at #1 on the music charts the first week. That was the first time a New Edition album had done that. In that first week, it sold about 227,000 copies. It also went #1 on the R&B charts. That hadn't happened since their 1984 self-titled album. The songs on the album were very popular. Hit Me Off was a big hit.
I like it when you
Songs like I'm Still in Love with You
and I'm still in love with you. It don't matter.
You Don't Have to Worry,
You don't have to worry.
One More Day,
I just need one more day.
and Shop Around all did well.
Shop around. Yes, I do. Shop around.
The album went double platinum, meaning it sold over 2 million copies. Even though Johnny liked the older album more, he still appreciated the fans loving Home Again. To celebrate the album, the group went on a big tour. This was a big deal because it had been a long time since all 6 members performed together. Everyone was excited. Fans couldn't wait to see Bobby, Ricky, Ronnie, Ralph, Mike, and Johnny together again on stage. But things didn't stay good for long. The tour started falling apart. Johnny was there when things got really bad. During one show, Bobby stayed on stage longer than he was supposed to. That was something he did a lot. Ronnie DeVoe tried to pull Bobby off stage. That's when it happened. Bobby dropped the microphone and a fight broke out between him and Ronnie. Johnny explained that the tour was wild. It felt more like a rock and roll tour than an R&B tour. Every group member had their own tour bus. Most of the guys packed their buses with 10, 15, even 20 people. Johnny and Ricky Bell were different. They only had 2 or 3 people on their buses. Johnny joked that it felt like the others were picking up people in every city. The buses were full of friends, weed carriers, and hangers-on. It was too much. Too many people. Too much chaos. Johnny said everyone knew Bobby was not in a good place at that time. Bobby was using drugs, and it showed. You could see it on his face and in the way he acted. Every night it was the same. People hoped Bobby would pull himself together, but he was struggling, and that struggle showed up on stage.
It was no secret. Everybody knew Bob was using.
Yeah,
and
he had drug
he was
problems.
he was not in a very good space and place. And obviously, you could see it. You could see it every night. I mean,
After the fight between Bobby and Ronnie, things got worse. Security got involved. Then, gunshots were heard. No one was hit, thank God, but people panicked. Johnny said all he needed to hear was the word gun, and he ran. He didn't look back. He didn't wait around. He just got out of there. It was shocking. A concert full of fans, friends, and music turned into a scary moment with fists flying and bullets in the air.
nobody got hit, but all I heard gun, and all you had to tell me was gun. My ass was gone.
Johnny said that even though they were like brothers, this kind of thing should not happen. Brothers argue and fight, yes, but when guns get involved, it's too much. He didn't think any of the group members pulled out guns, but security, or people around them, did. The problem was too many unfamiliar faces, too many people who weren't part of the real group. Some people picked sides, Team Bobby, Team Johnny, Team Ronnie, and brought more drama.
But you know, when you start getting all these people and gathering all these unfamiliar faces, and you got people trying to prove I'm Team Johnny, I'm Team Bobby, I'm Team Ronnie.
Johnny said they should have been more careful. They should have paid attention to who they were hiring and bringing along. These people represented the group. If they acted crazy, it made New Edition look bad. And this wasn't the first time guns were involved at a New Edition concert. Before Johnny even joined the group, someone from Bobby Brown's side was killed. Teddy Riley once talked about it. The fight was about something small, someone taking too long on stage, but it ended with someone losing their life. Johnny's best friend, Anthony B., was killed. He was shot by someone working with New Edition during that time. That made things even worse. This wasn't something you expected to see at an R&B concert. Johnny said it felt more like something from a rap show or the streets. Not what you would think of when you hear love songs and smooth voices. It was all too much. After the gunshots, Michael Bivins and Bobby Brown left the tour. They didn't finish it. That left only 4 members: Johnny Gill, Ricky Bell, Ronnie DeVoe, and Ralph Tresvant. They had to finish the rest of the tour by themselves. It felt strange. What started as a big reunion tour with 6 people became a small tour with just 4. It was sad and disappointing. But Johnny said he was thankful for Al Heyman, the tour promoter. Al told them, "Whoever is ready to work, let's go." He helped them keep going. Even though the tour continued, the damage was done. The group lost money. Johnny said it was during this time that he started having tax problems. Some of the other guys already had tax issues. Things got worse for everyone. At one point, New Edition went into debt. It was supposed to be a victory tour, but it turned into a financial disaster. Johnny said he looked around and realized he was the only one who showed up to every show. Everyone else missed a show at some point, but Johnny never missed one. He took pride in that. No matter what was going on, he stayed professional and did his job. He wanted to give the fans what they came for. Looking back, Johnny said it was a hard time. There was success, but also chaos. There was love, but also fights. There was music, but also violence. He stayed strong and held it together, but not everyone could. The Home Again tour showed both the power and the problems of New Edition. It brought back memories, but also opened old wounds. Also, Ricky Bell went through a tough battle with addiction. This struggle was kept hidden from the public for a long time, but it came to light in 2017 when the BET docuseries The New Edition story aired. Fans were shocked to learn that Ricky had dealt with drugs, just like his bandmate Bobby Brown. But unlike Bobby, Ricky had kept his struggles mostly private.
It took me probably 16 years of going in and out of different rehabs or, back and forth from sober to, relapsing.
The docuseries revealed that Ricky's addiction started in the mid-1990s, during the time when New Edition was working on their Home Again album. Before this, Ricky had tried marijuana and some other substances, but it wasn't until he met his now wife, Amy Correa, that things took a dangerous turn. Amy introduced him to ecstasy, and later, a drug dealer gave him a free bag of cocaine. This was the start of Ricky's downward spiral into addiction.
Sold everything I had, even down to one time I remember selling my boots, my Timberland boots.
Really?
That had I designed myself. They had my initials and autograph and just something that I was just keeping.
Ricky soon found himself addicted to cocaine, OxyContin, and alcohol. The drugs began to take over his life. His finances suffered, and his addiction became so expensive that he lost his home. He started selling everything he owned just to feed his habit. Ricky's life hit rock bottom when, one night, his wife Amy found him unconscious in the bathroom after an overdose. This was a close call, and though the overdose was kept a secret, Ricky realized he needed help and went to rehab.
It was really hard. I mean, as difficult and painful that you would think or imagine, it was all of that because it's someone you love, and when you put drugs in the picture, at any point in time, he can go to jail, he could get hurt, and he could die.
Today, Ricky is clean and living a much happier life with his wife, Amy, whom he has been married to for nearly 15 years. Ricky shared his story publicly to help others who were going through the same struggles he did. On social media, he wrote, "I shared my closely guarded story of pain and addiction for the sole purpose of gifting hope and inspiration to those who may be suffering as I once did. It is my helping hand to you. Grab a hold and don't let it go, because I won't. With every fiber of gratitude in me, I thank you. God bless us all." For Ricky, drugs had a strong grip on him, turning him into a person he didn't want to be. So, obviously, they had many problems with each other, but also with the people who managed them. They argued about money, control, and who should lead the group. These fights sometimes got so bad that the group broke up for a while, or changed members. One big problem happened during their first big tour with Grandmaster Flash. The group thought they were making a lot of money. They worked hard and performed in many shows. Ralph Tresvant said he was excited to get paid after the tour. But when they went to collect their money, they found out they only got $1.87 each. Ralph said it didn't feel real. Ricky Bell said he was so innocent at the time that he couldn't believe someone had stolen from them. The group felt cheated and used. It made them realize the music business could be very unfair. Bobby's marriage to Whitney Houston also brought a lot of attention. They often argued in public, and both used drugs.
We did drugs together. There was no introducing her to anything. She already knew what she knew about drugs.
They even had a reality TV show called Being Bobby Brown, where people saw their toxic relationship. Many fans were shocked by how bad things looked. Later, Whitney died, and their daughter, Bobby Christina, also passed away. Many people blamed Bobby and said he didn't protect them. This added more pain and sadness to his life.
I didn't get into really heavy drugs until I met Whitney, but it destroys people.
Even though New Edition made great music, their journey was not easy. The group had to deal with fights, money issues, and personal struggles. Behind the fame, there was a lot of pain and broken trust. Ronnie DeVoe was mostly known as the quiet one in the group New Edition. He stayed away from most of the drama that followed some of the other members. People often said he had a clean image, but later in his career, Ronnie joined a group called RBRM. This group included himself, Bobby Brown, and Ricky Bell. However, Ralph Tresvant and Johnny Gill were not part of it. Some fans got upset about this. They felt like Ronnie was helping to break the group apart by not including everyone. Even though he didn't say anything bad, people on social media thought it was wrong to leave out Ralph and Johnny. It made some fans feel like the group would never come back together fully. Ronnie and his wife, Ronnie DeVoe, were also on a reality show. It was part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta spin-offs.
Ronnie, my husband, your wife killed it. She killed it. Thank you.
On the show, they shared parts of their personal life. Some people liked it, but others felt it was just a way to stay famous. People online accused Ronnie of trying to get attention, calling it clout chasing. They thought he was only doing the show to stay in the spotlight. Even though Ronnie and his wife tried to show their real selves, not everyone believed it. Some felt it was fake or done just to stay in the public eye. Michael Bivins became known as a smart businessman. He helped start Bell Biv DeVoe and also helped manage Boys II Men. He made a lot of good business moves in music.
And Jigga saw me in the audience. I'm standing in the chair, you know, I'm a little dude. And he said some clever, nice words to me, man. I didn't even know he saw me. Yo, Biv, don't think we don't forgot about your contribution to this music business. You was putting niggas on before anybody, boom, boom, boom. Right. And someone caught it on his cell phone.
But some people he worked with said they didn't get paid fairly. There were fights over money and control. Some former friends and artists said Michael only looked out for himself. Others felt he picked favorites and didn't treat everyone in the group the same. These problems caused hard feelings over the years. Ralph Tresvant had a very smooth voice and was the lead singer of New Edition. But sometimes he did not show up for group events or tours. Fans began to wonder if he had personal problems. Some even guessed he might be using drugs, though nothing was ever proven. Ralph also liked to stay private, which made people think he was distant. He had marriage troubles too. His divorce made it into the tabloids, and people started talking more about his personal life than his music. All of this made it harder for him to stay active with the group. When it comes to his personal life, Johnny Gill has been the target of gay rumors for many years. These rumors began around the late 1980s. At that time, tabloids and gossip magazines loved to talk about celebrities. They didn't always care if something was true. If a story could sell magazines, they printed it. Johnny's friendship with Eddie Murphy got people talking even more. Eddie had also faced similar gay rumors. When people saw the two together, they assumed things without proof. Sadly, people often don't separate real friendship from romantic relationships. Johnny and Eddie were just close friends, but the public wanted to believe something more.
Whether it's being called gay, accused of being gay, accused of being a thief, accused of being anything, if somebody's lying on you and saying something about you that is not true, it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
Johnny talked about this in an interview on the show Unsung. He said he didn't understand where the rumors started or why they lasted for so many years. It hurt him to be judged by something that wasn't true. In those days, false stories spread fast through gossip columns, not just online like today. Johnny didn't have the tools we have now to fight back against lies. He had to deal with whispers, jokes, and fake news without any way to stop it.
I don't want somebody to take a misstep and make it as misstep and saying that, well, what's wrong with being gay? It's like, because there's nothing wrong with being gay. If that's who you are.
Right. It's just not accurate.
There's something wrong with somebody accusing you of being something or someone that you're not.
Johnny did have relationships with women, like fellow R&B singer Stacey Lattisaw. But even that wasn't enough to stop people from making false claims about him. Some folks ignored the truth and kept believing the lies. Because Johnny didn't talk about his personal life much, the rumors just kept growing. He felt like he had to defend himself again and again, which must have been exhausting. Even though the rumors caused him pain, Johnny never showed hate toward the LGBTQ+ community. In fact, he said that going through this made him understand the struggles gay people face. He said the experience gave him more compassion. He learned how hard life can be when people make assumptions about you, especially when those assumptions are based on lies or stereotypes. He realized how cruel the world can be to people who are different or misunderstood. To prove his point, Johnny once took a lie detector test. He wanted to show the world that he was telling the truth about being straight. He didn't have to do that, but he was tired of the lies. That test was a way to tell people, look, I'm done with the gossip. Here's proof. It's sad that a person would have to do that just to be believed. Most people don't go through such extreme steps to prove who they are, but Johnny did it to stop the noise. Another fact that shows Johnny is straight is that he has a son named Isaiah Gill. He also had relationships with women in the past. There has never been real proof that he was in a relationship with a man. People just assumed things based on what they thought they saw or heard. But facts are facts. He had a child and dated women. Still, some folks didn't want to let go of the rumors. They preferred to believe lies instead of facts.